I feel like we're relaxed.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Action.
So it sounds like there's a lot of technology in the market that can help people in these environments. But how do we compare them?
Since we are talking about the cocktail party problem, we are interested in the intelligibility, so we need measures that measure this. There's one common measure called the speech reception threshold, which is defined as the sound pressure level necessary to be able to understand 50% of the words in a sentence. This kind of measure is very useful because it allows us to compare different studies of the way that is very standardized. However, you have to think about that 50% of the words in a sentence, that's already a very tough situation. But it kind of gives us a limit where we are able to understand some of the information or we are just totally lost in the noise. When we talk about these kind of measures, we don't usually talk directly sound pressure level because that doesn't tell us how the signal to noise ratio or the speech to noise ratio in this case will look like, because we actually tend to shout a little bit when there's a lot of noise or talk a little bit quieter when it's very quiet around us. So we rather look at this speech to noise threshold for this kind of measures, but it is possible to map the speech reception threshold, look at it as speech to noise threshold instead of sound pressure levels. And this gives us the opportunity to compare different technologies and see how our technology is improving intelligibility at different SNRs or speech to noise ratios.
You've really simplified that for me, so thank you. I'd love to understand in terms of if I was in a busy cafe or restaurant, what would be the speech to noise ratio in those environments?
A typical cafe, like a busy cafe at lunchtime, will have around -3 dBs. So that's just to give you an idea of how the noise is in the cafe. So that means that actually your speech is lower than the noise. And most people are able to understand in these situations, but if you have hearing damage or aging, cocktail party problem issues, you will really, really struggle to understand in this situation.
So any intervention there would need to improve the speech to noise ratio, is that correct?
Exactly. Just to put you into context, some studies have shown that the speech reception threshold is about 1.6 dBs. So that's the level of the speech to noise ratio necessary so that we are able to understand 50% of the words in a sentence. So it's a difficult situation. And if you go to a restaurant or a busy cafe, then we have speech to noise ratios of about -3 dB. It becomes very, very challenging for most people in these situations, especially if you're already having issues with your hearing or just the normal aging issues with the hearing.
Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoy the conversation and would like to have more information about ASO for hearing and some of the other topics we discussed today, please download our white paper.